Hi everyone, it's Nicole here with our Children, Our Future La Cloche Early On Child and Family Center, and thank you for joining me for Family Matters today. Today we're going to do something a little more fun, and we're going to talk about things you might not have known when you became a parent. So these are things that you maybe didn't realize existed or that weren't so common. So let's jump right in. So the first thing that I think people learn when they become a parent is that you do not know how much you can love another human being. Yes, we love our parents, we love our spouse, we love our, brothers or sisters or friends, but the level of love that becomes unlocked when you become a parent is just something completely different. And trying to explain that to someone without kids, they're like, no, I get it. And you're like, no, you don't get it yet. But that level of love is really, really intense. The second thing that I think we know, we sacrifice a lot for our kids, but I don't think we realize that we sacrifice a lot more of ourselves for our kids to make sure that they have the best that we can give them. We're sacrificing things like sleep, which of course we need to do, but they're going to affect your sleep for the rest of your life. How about your hygiene? How many times have you been like, oh, I really need to have a shower? When was the last time I had a shower? Right? They're going to affect things like your regular meal times. How many times have you thought, oh, I should make something to eat, and then, oh, someone needs something, so your needs get put off, right? Or those fancy meals, those like spicy chicken curry, or the nice savory steak with the garlic and the onions and mushrooms, and oh, such good food, and the kids are like, I don't like this, so we don't make it. Right? How many of those meals have we given up? Just taking the time for yourself. I don't know about you guys, but I used to spend a lot more time on my appearance before I had children. Afterwards, not as much. And honestly, the people who see the true, authentic, like bare bones me are probably my kids' bus drivers and my neighbors, because I am so rushed getting them out the door in the morning that I wait till they're gone before I even bother to do anything with myself, if I even do. Working from home, bonus luxury. So yeah, we sacrifice a lot for our kids, and we knew we were going to make sacrifices when we became parents, but sometimes, really looking back, we make so many sacrifices. However, if you ask any parent, I'm sure they would say they would do it all over again, because knowing that we're giving the children what they need and the best that we can give them, it makes it all worth it. The next thing that you probably didn't know about before you became a parent was that you're going to talk about poop. That's right, I said it. Poop. A lot. A lot. So much so that eventually you forget that it's not a topic that everybody discusses in life. And so when you're talking about poop, people who don't have children, or are past that in their lives, get really uncomfortable. So you can tell, it's kind of funny, you can tell when you're talking to, a non-parent, because poop is not something that they are like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've had that happen. Or I know what color that is, because that's normal. It does happen. Prepare for it. The next thing that you probably might not know, before you became a parent, is that you are going to own way, 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 way too much kid stuff. Way too much. There are so many gadgets out there for babies, especially babies, to try and make our lives easier, and that's fantastic. You do not need 98% of it. Really, you can get by on very little when it comes to a baby. There are some things that are, yeah, great to have sometimes, but they don't always work for every child, and they don't always work for every family. So Something I've learned as a parent, and that I've actually read on other articles as well, is that we end up owning way too much stuff. And then we feel guilty about giving it away or selling it. Don't feel guilty. There's so much stuff coming around that if you're saving it for your friends to have babies or your next baby, really think about, like, is this something I used a lot? Am I really going to need it? Because this snowballs into clothes, into toddler toys, into more toys, and before you know it, your house is overrun with children's things. So that's something, if you haven't got there yet, it's gonna happen. If you have any tips on how to do it, please help me save these parents as well. Another thing that you might not know until you become a parent is that you can get a whole lot of cleaning done in 10 kid-free moments. So if you have 10 minutes where no one is bugging you, your kids maybe are outside playing or really quiet or taking a nap, in those 10 minutes, first off, you should be eating, because really, if you probably haven't eaten today. But if you're nourished and you're rested, those 10 minutes, you can get so much cleaning done. Now your house will not stay that way. No, 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 no. As soon as the kids come back in, it's going to be like a hurricane came back through there. But it's really, really satisfying sense of accomplishment. Another thing that's a little more serious is that your relationships are going to change. And I'm talking more than just your relationship with your significant other, if you have one in your life. I'm talking about maybe relationships with your parents, maybe relationships with your friends, in-laws. All of these relationships are going to be affected by having a child. And I know it seems strange, but we change, right? So we value different things once we have children. And if our friends are not in the same place, we might find ourselves drifting, or that a relationship might be evolving. You might feel closer to friends who already have children, or you might even feel closer to your parents or in-laws because of that shared experience of now having a child and understanding what they went through as well. So relationships will change, and sometimes it's for the better. Sometimes, like I said, you drift apart, but there's always peaks and values, and it's a really good time to evaluate, like, who is important in my life? Who do I want to really keep around? This is a good one. You probably didn't realize you were going to get asked some very hard questions. So once your children start talking around the age of anywhere from 3 till whenever, you're going to get asked some very hard questions. You're going to get asked questions about death. You're going to get asked questions about sexuality. You're going to get asked questions about gender. You're going to get asked, where do babies come from? How did that baby get in her belly? These are hard questions. And it's really hard to know, how much do I tell my 4-year-old? How much do I explain to my 6-year-old about where babies come from? These are hard questions, and it's okay not to know the answer to these questions. Tell your child that, you know what, I'm not 100% sure yet what to tell you, or I'm not 100% sure. Let's figure it out together. And it'll give you a little bit of time to figure out how you want to tell them or what you want to tell them. So again, hard questions that I didn't really think about when I became a parent. This one is a good one. Things you maybe never realized were going to happen when you became a parent is that you will at some point in your life bargain with a child. Yep, you're going to bargain with them. Part of this, I feel like, is to help the child learn problem-solving skills. At least that's what I tell myself when I bargain with my children, is that when they asked to watch a certain amount of TV, and I said, well, maybe not that much, they said, well, how about this? So we bargain back and forth. I mean, the other part of the whole thing is that it saves my sanity. I have to let go of some things and realize a little bit of some things are okay. And if that's going to prevent an overall meltdown, sometimes that might be okay. I mean, as a parent, everyone's got their own values, but I guarantee at some point you will be bargaining with a child. And you better hope it's not a toddler, because there's no win in those ones. Um, the last one that I'm going to talk about, and it's kind of funny, is that more than likely you're going to become a hypocrite. And when I say a hypocrite, I mean that pre-children, you told yourself, my child will never, dot, dot, dot. My child will never watch TV. My child will never eat sugar. My child will always go to bed on time. My child would never have a meltdown in the middle of a store. Well, let me tell you, it's probably going to happen. You're probably going to decide, I need 20 minutes of sanity so I can have a shower. I need to, give in a little bit here and there. And you know what? Tantrums happen. You do not have control over an emotion of that child. And they might have a tantrum in the middle of a grocery store. How you handle it is a different scenario. But I guarantee at some point in your parenting career, you'll think to yourself, oh, I said this was never going to happen, and here we are. So I'm curious to know, what are some things that you really didn't realize you were going to have to contend with until you became a parent? I would love to hear in the comments below. If I got something wrong, please tell me. These are things that I have kind of sourced from some different websites, as well as from my own experiences as a parent and a family resource worker. So, again, what some things you didn't know you were going to have to deal with when you became a parent. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and like I said, I'm looking forward to reading some of the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everyone.